You're listening to musician, author, and educator Bobby Borg, breaking down music, business, and marketing basics so they stick.
Hey everybody, my name is Bobby Borg, and we are simplifying music, business, and communication concepts so that they stick. And my topic today is branding and getting people to care. My guest today is Jeff Hirsh. Jeff is the founder and president of the Right Brain Studio, a USC adjunct professor in marketing, and also a music lover and musician too. So Jeff, thank you very much for coming out today. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
So before we get started, I just wanted to share with my audience really quick. I wanted to remind you guys that this is a DIY podcast studio, which means I am not only the interviewer, I am the cameraman as well. So you guys are gonna see me clicking on some camera buttons. You're gonna see me grabbing my scripts, but it's all good. We are raw and real. So let's go ahead and do this. So in a class introduction and syllabus, you discuss the importance of understanding why people should care about products and services, and you stress the importance of creating meaning. And you provided a couple examples. For instance, people care about Nike footwear because Nike doesn't just sell shoes, they sell aspiration. So if you can elaborate a little bit further on this topic of creating meaning, please.
Sure, absolutely. First of all, I'm impressed that you read my syllabus, so thank you for doing your homework. That's because I don't think my students read the syllabus, so that's great. But one of the first questions, if not the first question, I always ask a new client is, what do you make? Okay, and if you're in the coffee business, you can't say coffee. If you're in the theme park business, you can't say theme park. So in other words, you can't talk at all about product or category. You have to, what we call in the business, ladder up to something more aspirational. So what's the bigger idea? I think in these times, rational benefits mean very little. I think products are very competitive. There might have been a time in the 1950s where one detergent actually did get your shirts whiter than another detergent. I don't think that's true now. So there has to be some emotional connection to the brand, and that emotion has to really be kind of something big. So if you think about any major brand, you just mentioned Nike, but if you think about Starbucks, what they really sell is community, right? I mean, they sell coffee, they're dedicated to coffee, but they're really selling community. It's the so-called third place between home and between the office. Okay, if you think about Disney, great classic example, they don't make movies or toys or theme parks, they make magic.
Right.
So you're always being connected to something bigger, and the brands, you know, if you mention any kind of well-known brand, any what I call legendary brand, you know, you can identify what that is, and it's generally tied to some backstory, the creation story of the brand.
Right.
So it starts at the beginning.
Right. In the music business, a lot of fans really care about Lady Gaga because she sells more than just her music. She sells inclusivity and acceptance to marginalized communities. And she has been said to bring people out of the dark and into the light, so to speak. And she really believed this and stands by this, you know, to her core. So I assume that she is being very authentic about this. Would you see this sort of as an example, maybe creating meaning, you know, from the perspective of a music business example?
Yeah, well, I mean, that creates a lot of meaning and personal connection and a reason to love her that goes beyond the music.
Right, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
Now, you know, we're starting out with an amazing talent like her.
Right.
But you know what you just talked about, that connection that people have to her because she stands for something bigger, along with her talent, could explain why she does so well, kind of dancing between genres. You know, she can almost do anything because we give her license to do it.
Okay, so this is important. So let's go on with a couple more examples. Maybe something that we can both share a love for, the Grateful Dead.
Now you're talking. Okay.
Right, you know, and I mean, the Deadheads, I mean, they didn't just sell music, they sold kindness, sharing, helpfulness. I mean, you know, and we both share the love of a book called All I Learned About the Businesses I Learned from the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, everything I know in business comes from the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Right.
So would this be sort of another example of maybe in music of how someone really created a lot of meaning behind, you know, what they stood for and what they did, and that got the fans kind of fired up as well and make them feel that they're part of a community and family?
You know, it's a great example, and I think, you know, if you read that book, I teach that book in my branding course, actually. You know, one thing you understand when you read that book is that they did a lot of things by accident.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like
exactly,
they didn't get together, you know, 40 years ago and say, we're going to build this great brand and it's going to contain these components. No, they did what was important to them. And one thing that was really important to them was their audience. They loved their audience, and that's why they were pioneers in creating great sound for arenas, you know, as they broke out of, you know, smaller venues, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 seat venues like the Fillmore East and the Capitol Theater in Port Chester and those places. They started playing the Nassau Coliseum and Madison Square Garden. It was really important to them that the person in the back row heard them as well as the person in the middle or the person in the front. And that meant something to the audience. They didn't want people scalping their tickets, right? So they took over ticket sales. The big thing that they did, and this was viral marketing before there was viral marketing, is they actually allowed people to tape their shows and to share those tapes. And the record company went crazy, right? I mean, record companies didn't do that. That was pirating, that was bootlegging, and that was bad. But they understood that what they sold was something, they weren't selling records. They didn't make great records. They were about an experience, this kind of, you know, great shared experience that was, you know, fueled by drugs and camaraderie and people following them from one place to another. And that's what they captured, and that's what they kind of stood for. So it became something much bigger.
Right.
But yeah, they executed right by accident. It was really interesting.
Right, yeah.
But now, to this day, you know, they're huge. I mean, the Dead and Company, you know, there are only 3 original members of the band. They just sold out the Hollywood Bowl 2 nights in a row. They sell out wherever they go. Yeah.
Maybe another example that we can think about is Kiss. And I know that Kiss sold more than just music. They sold sort of rebellion, and they used to engage with their fans and tell them to go out there and you know, call radio stations and insist that they play Kiss. And it was crazy. I mean, kids used to actually walk around with the Kiss lunch boxes. They would feel that they're part of this family and tribe. And I even knew friends that used to dress up as the characters for Halloween and things. Pretty amazing stuff. So anyway, Jeff, thank you very much. A great conversation, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. So my name is Bobby Borg, and we're simplifying music, business, and communication concepts so that they stick. Be sure to hang out for further clips, and peace. Thanks very much. Jeff, again, thank you.
Pleasure.
Hey everybody, if you like the videos that you just watched, please be sure to check out my books, Business Basics for Musicians and Music Marketing for the DIY Musician, available at Amazon.com, BobbyBorg.com, or any fine bookseller. Thanks again for watching, and peace.